Hi, I'm Rob Jellesed with Coldwell Banker Pacwest Realty in Medford, Oregon, and today I'm with Bob Nelson, who is the Pacwest Commercial Investment broker in Eugene. And Bob is a resident expert, Northwest expert on commercial real estate investment. We've had 2 sessions already. Session 1 was we were following his 3 steps of his 3-step process for commercial real estate in screening and evaluating potential sellers and buyers. We've gone through step 1, which was the first video, and step 2, which is we just finished the second one. Now we're in step 3, and Bob's going to share with us what his 3rd step is in helping a potential seller and buyer get their property either on the market or a buyer ready to purchase a property. So Bob, should we start now with step 3?
Sure, that would be fine.
Okay.
My 3rd counseling session, and again, they're probably anywhere from 4 days apart to a week apart, to allow the individual to assimilate their own understanding of themselves. Frequently, they've ever had a conversation with an individual who is very concerned with their well-being. Somebody's just going to try to sell them something. Well, that's not my style. I dislike selling anybody anything. I do enjoy buying things for individuals as long as I know. It's much like if you fell overboard off of a boat, you're not going to resist a life ring that I toss to you. Why? Because it's to your benefit and it's to your advantage. So if I understand this process through the first step of understanding who you are, what your capacities are, what you're attempting to achieve, and these are life goals, not just real estate investment goals. These are life goals because real estate is long-term. It's not a get-rich-quick process. It's a get-rich slowly but surely process. So then through the 2nd step, I've identified the ideas that the person is seeking, their wants, and they express them as their needs and so forth. I'll define that in terms of investment benefits. And toward the end of the 2nd meeting, I'll have a pretty good idea if they plan on using my talent to go out and accomplish the end, or if they would just want to do it on their own. And if they do, that's fine. But I don't want to go much further because unfortunately, if they go out and try to do it on their own, number one, my errors and omissions insurance carrier is not going to get excited if I'm taking on professional risk without the promise of compensation. It's just a basic concern that
Sure.
Without that I lose my coverage, and I would not do that. So the 3rd process, I now introduce the concept of the benefits that we're after can be found in certain types of real estate. In some instances, they're after benefits that are most probably produced from an apartment complex, owning a residential tenant-occupied property where the tenants are paying rent on a monthly basis and so forth. Other instances, they don't want to be exposed to that level of management, even though the management can be handled professionally. I mean, I can pay a real estate professional to deal with the day-to-day operation of the property. And the better that manager is, the higher the performance, in fact, will be. Not all property managers were created equal or even seek to become professionally elite. I like to use the individuals that are really good at that process because the entire investment return is pretty much dependent upon what they do. Other instances, they like what we refer to as triple net properties, collectively known as mailbox money. I buy something and I receive a check about the 2nd day of the month. I don't manage it. I have nothing to do with the tenancy, etc., and it continues on a long-term lease basis. Others say, well, I like to become more involved because the more involved I become, I can influence the value of the property. I can paint it, I can re-roof it, I can do certain things that will immediately change the value of that asset. And as it changes the value, it increases the equity. And the quicker you increase equity, the more your net worth increases. The more net worth that you have, the more risk averse you can become, because you're not gambling everything that you have. So with the 3rd session, I now start to introduce the concept of what asset type are we after? What do you feel comfortable with? Because what you're after most likely can be produced in this type of asset. Number 2, what are you fiscally or financially qualified to do. If you say, I want to buy a $10 million property, and you've got 10,000 down, you can't get there from here.
Sure.
But if I can identify then approximate price range, then the third is their geographic constraint. If they say, I've got to be located in Medford, Oregon, period, I got to drive by the property every day to feel comfortable, that's fine. Others say, I don't really care where it is, as long as it's in a solid region, a solid neighborhood with good tenants. I don't care if it's located in Boise or Seattle or Phoenix.
Well, it sounds like after step 3, you really have a very good understanding
Right.
of what
We also have a client relationship by
client.
the end of the third session.
Yeah, those are really good. That's a really good foundation to develop a future relationship with as time goes by.
Well, at that point, if something starts to go wrong, it's most likely because I didn't perceive an outside influence that's now coming to play on an individual. Restated, I didn't have all the decision makers in the counseling
But
session.
at least you've developed a level of trust that you
Yes.
can get through that.
Yes, exactly.
Great. Thank you, Bob.
Absolutely.
For your time. Hey, that's steps 3. And for more information about this and other topics, see my YouTube channel, Rob Jellesed, Coldwell Banker, Pacwest Realty in Medford, Oregon. Thank you very much. Hi, I'm Rob Jellesed of Coldwell Banker Pacwest Realty in Medford, Oregon, and this is my YouTube channel. I hope you find the content on here entertaining, informative, and enjoyable, and somewhat comical. Thank you for watching.